My junior year of college, I was an RA, and I was a cool RA. Like, I don't care if your man comes to stay. Anyway, I had this roommate. She was a freshman, and through what I felt like was a federal investigation, I ended up finding out that she was pretending to shower. She did not use toilet paper, and she did not wash her hands when we were in the midst of a global pandemic, right? And it took me a while to come to this conclusion, but she smelled like a hot trash can in Alabama. She smelled so bad. Anyway, so I'm the RA, so I can do whatever I want, right? So I bought out like all these candles from Bath and Body Works, and I decided to light one. I put it in like our little like sink place, like where we brush our teeth, and then I went to the kitchen to get something. When I came back, the candle was blown out. I was like, oh my gosh, that's weird. I was going back to the kitchen. I think I was like air frying something. Literally, I'm the RA, I can do whatever I want to. Came back, it was blown out again. I was like, okay, like maybe it's a dry for here. Like I'll just put the candle in my room. Put the candle in our room, finished doing whatever I was doing in the kitchen, came back in my room. My roommate is literally sitting in my room like, oh, she called me. And I'm like, what are you doing in my room? And she's like, I don't know. And I was like, bro, like literally get out of my room. Like, what are you doing? Like, don't be funking up my space. It's the only clean space in this entire house because you stink so bad. So anyway, I looked down, the candle's blown out. So I was like, okay, Candy, that's what we're gonna call it. Candy's been blowing out my candles this entire time. So I texted her and I was like, hey, first of all, don't ever go in my room unless you want problems with me, okay? Let's start there. And she was, and I'm, okay. Anyway, so I was like, don't ever do that again. Like the only reason that I have these candles light is because you stink. End of discussion. She didn't say anything else, left me on red, okay? Then the next day I'm at my other job when I worked at the library, and I get a text from my big boss, and he was like, hey, we need you to hop on this Zoom call right now. And I'm like, okay, whatever. So I hop on the Zoom call, and it's like all my bosses, and I'm like, what the heck is going on? And they were like, did you say that your roommate stinks? And I was like, yeah, I did. And they were like, why did you say that? And I told them why. And they're like, that's not appropriate, like that's mean, that's bullying, that's blah, blah, blah. And I was like, okay. And he was like, well, you need to text her and apologize. You need to send her an email and apology, and when you get home, you need to apologize again. And I was like, okay. So I texted her and I was like, this is the reason that I said that you stink. It was never giving apology. It was never giving apology, right? So anyway, whatever. Get back on another Zoom with the big boss, and he was like, yeah, also we're going to be putting you in anger management classes because you really need to figure that out. And mind you, he was not. And I was like, you really, whatever. So then we ended up having a bigger intervention with the girl and her mama and like the bigger bosses. And the mom was like, oh yeah, by the way, I forgot to mention this in our previous meeting, but Jayana fought my daughter. And I was like, oh, really, when? Just like that. I said, oh, really, when? And she's like, oh, you think you're so smart? It was February 18th. And I was like, Candy, isn't that your sister's birthday? And she was like, yeah, how do you know that? I was like, because you kept telling me, and you texted me, and I had the text right here that you were going to be home in Texas on February the 18th. February the 18th, I was also in Mobile, Alabama, getting my driver's license renewed. Exhibit A. Thank you very much. It says February 18th. And she was like, the mom was like, okay, well, maybe Jayana didn't pop my daughter, but this is unacceptable. Hey, I quit. Thank you so much.